This is Tilted Podcast.
Welcome. We are here. It's time. We're back. Yeah, we seem to be on a week by week kind of basis at the moment. Obviously life's important. We got families and stuff like that. I'll try to make sure we get something done and out every week from here on out until the end of the year, because we've got a lot to cover going into November, December, and January. It's a great time to be alive as a sports fan and sports better and college fan and football fan. And you know what's even better than all of that combined is the fact that now today the Dodgers are World Series fucking champions, baby. Finally, we get to fucking enjoy one together, Anthony, and there's no asterisks next to it. I know, Brad, I don't know if you were around for the 88, which I'm guessing you were because you're old. We weren't. We didn't get to enjoy it. I don't remember the 88 at all. So, because I wasn't even here. But
you're young. You're younger than me, right?
1990, and I know you weren't old enough to remember it because you were probably 2 or 3 or 1.
Yeah, I was 8. No, I wasn't born either. I'm 89. So.
89. Yeah, we weren't even born yet. Yeah. Brad, how old were you when they won the 88 World Series?
Well, let's just break it down. I watched El Nino come out in 81, bub. So
God dang.
I've been there, done that.
So the youngsters can hang out with the old man. I love it. I like it.
Yeah, this is the OG is in the house.
It's funny.
You know what, man? It was that shit was so exciting. It was great.
That game 5. It was just amazing to watch. Like the resilience, the not give up attitude. Like we went down early. It was like almost like a gut shot to the stomach immediately. And, I think every one of the guys that went through an interview said the same thing. They're like, there's no fucks given. And it was, floor it to the floor, all the way to the wall. Like they're going to try to complete every game they can. And, I'm really happy they did it in New York. I wouldn't have minded watching them win it in LA, but the fact they went to New York and beat them in New York, that's like, dang, just a staple to baseball right there. He went and beat the biggest paid team in baseball, and half their players will probably come to LA next year.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know. Garrett Cole did resign from what it looks like.
Yeah, I did enjoy seeing Brad's reaction video when it was going on and that last out, but that game, I never imagined it going 5 games. When they were up 3-0, I was shocked. I obviously did not want to see it go back to LA. I don't want a team like that to get hot. So I was pleased to see it end in 5. But I mean, for me, I think it was obviously, you look back on the series 20 years from now, everyone's going to remember Freddie Freeman.
Oh man,
Freddie Freeman series, that was like his crowning moment, in my opinion. I know he's had big moments. I know he's won World Series before, but I mean, he really took that series over. And
you said big moments.
Yeah.
So big moments. Speak of that, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That is the biggest moment ever in a 692 playoff baseball games. Never been done. A walk-off grand slam in playoff history. Never been done in World Series. 692 games in the World Series. Never been done.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's wild. I still can't believe they walked Mookie in front of him. I mean, I guess it makes sense. The guy's been on one leg going into it, but and then the unsung hero of the whole thing, I think, for Shohei to gut it out after the shoulder. And I said it to me and you talked all the time. I said, Shohei's way more injured than they're going to announce. He's way more injured than he's going to lead on. Right. And, it showed in his at bat. He was grimacing every time, but he was going to go up there and give you a quality at bat, and he was going to go out there and give you quality base running too, even though he probably wasn't going to be able to smash the ball like normal. But I mean, we could talk for an hour about this team because you just go down the list of players because there's so many. Everybody had their fingerprints all over it. But yeah, that's my main takeaway. Just excited for the team, and they're only going to be better next year when they get their pitching back. And very excited for Clayton Kershaw at that parade, man. That was awesome for him.
You weren't lying when you said the injury was worse than we thought. They said dislocated to come out. He had a torn labrum, and he had just had surgery on it yesterday or today. And it was like, I think it was yesterday. And it's like crazy. Like, this dude went out there with probably one of the worst injuries to your shoulder pain wise. And like, I mean, dude's full swinging, coming back, holding his chest like this, trying to keep that arm, secure. But like, how do you take him out of the lineup? Just in general, the reason he's there is you just can't, walk to him. And they're not going to walk the ninth batter to get to lead off. So it gave that ninth batter an opportunity every single time to hit the ball. And that's what Dave Roberts wanted. So I hands off, man. I preached the kick Dave Roberts off the team multiple times. We've talked about it. I did. I mean, let's be honest. How many times did we have teams that were so built they should have won? And we either pulling pitchers out, throwing a no-hitter in the playoffs with 70 pitches in. Like, things that just we talked about, like the baseball, the numbers make sense. Like, I get it. Analytics, you run it. But then there's that moment. There's that moment. You need to go to that guy and let him be a baseball player. And he did it. He did it for Trahan. I think that's how you say his name. And he did it. Trinan. He did it for Trinan. That dude was gassed, bro. Fucking gassed. But he gave him that opportunity. You know what that does? That kicks adrenaline. That shows belief in you by your coach. And you take another step. And dude, his last like 6 pitches in those 2 at-bats were phenomenal. Phenomenal. And different Roberts, man. He's like the Andy Reid starting to hopefully fade into the correct era of we're just going to go win champion after champion and be the 90s Yankees.
Where you at, Brad? What do you think? Feedback.
Well, I mean, getting back to the Grand Slam, I mean, as soon as Mookie was coming up, they had to walk him. They had to get the bases loaded to give them the force out at any base. That's, just the general thought, right? You're also facing Freddie, who they weren't sure where he was, right? I mean, it is what it is. So, great scenario for the Dodgers. It turned out great, right? Who knows how the series goes if they end up winning that game. Walker Buehler, he nutted it up, right? 1 day rest, comes out of the bullpen, close out game 5. I mean, there's a lot that happened. They absolutely fumbled the ball in game 5. But the Dodgers are a team that you give that opportunity, right? You open that door and they pretty much kick it in. So as the game progressed, right, and to me, once we got it to 5-3, and then obviously Teo has the hit immediately and gets to 5-5.
Big hit.
I felt like we were winning the game, right? Like you pretty much kicked them in the nuts, even though they answered immediately. It still felt like we were going to end up winning the game. So, when you hear what the Dodgers report was, right, their overall report on the Yankees was basically just put the ball in play. If you force them to play defense, they're going to mess up. If you force them to run the bases, they're going to mess up. And all those things kind of came to light, and the Dodgers were the team that were perfectly built to face them. So it just kind of turned out, the way it needed to turn out. I mean, if we would have went back home for game 6, it could have got a little dicey. It could have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you pitching there? Like.
Well, I mean, we're going Yamamoto, right? So it just depends.
Yamamoto would have been lined up.
Yamamoto would have been lined up, but if they would have had a chance to get to him, right? I mean, I'm thankful they closed it. And speaking of like moving forward, I mean, when you look at what we're going to look like next year, people are saying sign Soto. I don't think Soto is the thing. No. I think you go ahead and let the Mets and the Yankees fight over him. I think they need to sign. They need to sign Teo. They need to keep the guys, right? But they are favored to get the Japanese phenom if he gets posted. And they said today that Roki Sasaki is going to get posted. So if he posts, you're adding 103 mile an hour flamethrower. And then everything you hear in free agency, Max Fried is from LA. When he pitched against us in the playoffs a couple years ago, he made it clear that he loved pitching in Dodger Stadium. He's made it clear he's not re-signing with Atlanta. I think that's our target. I think that he's been a little injury bug, but we need a lefty. When he's healthy, he's absolutely disgusting. If we had Max Fried, we keep the offense we have. We add Roki Sasaki. You add Shohei, a healthy Glass now back in. I mean, we've got like guys like Gonsolin that are going to come back. Dustin May. What do we do with
Bobby
Walker? I
Miller,
mean,
Gavin
Bobby Miller.
Stone.
It is just it's ridiculous what we're set up to do. I think they're going to move a few of those young guys though. If they end up signing Freed and Sasaki, I feel like you're going to lose some of those young guys. There's no reason to keep them all. So
So
What do
it's
you make of
insane to
the?
think about the future.
I heard
It
something
is.
today, and I don't know if y'all read it.
I
What I
think
read
I think you're gonna hit me right where I was
Dog-
going. Go ahead.
about Mookie Betts playing second base. Did you hear that? So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I knew
Mookie,
that.
they want to move Mookie into second base, and that makes me scream in my thoughts that they're gonna sign Tommy Edman, which I think would be a great idea. I think the guy played phenomenal. I think the team built around him has made him a better player.
I think he's still on a 1-year contract,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
He
I
is,
still
so
with
he
us.
is. He's still with
you
us.
have him through next year.
Yeah,
but-
they're not going to extend him yet. They're going to work on who they got to extend first.
But my biggest question to you guys, which I think me and Anthony thought we were close, we weren't. Max Muncy, man, and third base. Like, what are we doing here with them? Like, the guy had a bad postseason. He walked a lot, yes, but he could not hit a
he set a
fucking
playoff record for getting on 12 straight times.
with walks, but he could
No,
not.
he had
hits.
he had hits. You're crazy, dude.
And his defense was clutch in the
Oh
series.
man.
I can
his
promise
World
you they're
Series-
wishing they had Max Muncy at third base when Kiki was sliding into third and they bobbled the
Yep.
ball. I don't know, man. I
Hey,
don't know if we just move
no.
on to him. I don't see this.
So
keeping
I'll
on.
give you guys some numbers in all of his postseason, in all the postseasons from 2018 to 2024. He's
Well-
batting a 217.
We're talking
And-
2024.
In 2024,
Okay,
he batted in 2024 he batted a 163.
Understand though, in postseason though, pretty much everybody's batting average drops, right?
I know
mean,
it's lower, but
you're facing the best of the best. His defense was clutch. I don't think they're moving on from Max. I think he fits what the Dodgers are.
I guess my question was like, where do you sit with him? You know, he only had 5
So-
RBIs. He hit 3 home runs, which was in the earlier of the run. But in the World Series, wow, dude, he was
That's
16
where
at bats
you're
with
being
14
a-
strikeouts.
You're being a prisoner of the moment, right? So it's a short stint. Who knows if those pitchers are just he had a bad World Series, 100% bad World Series, drew a few walks, but those first 2 series, I don't know if we're winning the Mets series without Max Muncy.
No, I'm
That's a
just
legitimate
asking.
thing, like-
yeah.
So I don't think, and here's my question, and this is what I was going to lead to. I've heard a lot of rumors about the Dodgers and shortstops. There's a few
They're going
shortstops
to
on the
get Willie
market.
Adames.
Yeah, Willie Adames is the big one. I also heard rumors of them trading for Corey Seager.
Yep.
Like if they were going to go down that path. So I think they're
Oof.
probably going to invest in the shortstop market and probably use that Matt Muncy at third, Kiki at third, Edmund could probably play third. It seems like he could play a little bit everywhere. I think that's going to be a hybrid spot for them, and I don't think that's going to be a high focus. I think they're going to worry about I say shoring up the rotation, but damn, if people are healthy, they got it, right? They have everybody they need. But I think their focus is going to be re-signing Teo and getting a shortstop of some sort.
Well, I mean, just sitting
Put
there,
some respect on Muncy's name, bro.
I'm not. There was no disrespect there. I just it's been an ongoing trend for him the last three postseasons. He just has been. It's been a little rough, you know. Like last
He
season,
does struggle.
you know. And I know he's kind of like your guy. Like he's gonna hit fucking monster home runs. When he hits the ball, it's launched. But he strikes out a lot. He's one of those guys. Teo is kind of the same way. He did adapt really well this year, and his hitting came along. But in his past years in Toronto, it was a big home run guy or a big strikeout guy. Like you're getting, but that's kind of like the MO for some of those guys. You're either going to smash the ball or strike out, like, you know. But
I would tell you too, before we move on, that there's also a lot of guys that are maybe they're not the everyday player, maybe they're not hitting for 300, but they're a major deal to that team, and I think Muncie's a heartbeat of that team. I look back at that interview that Brad sent us with him and Honeywell after the NLCS. He talked very similar about that kid and at the parade, and when he got up there and spoke and he talked about all the different players and all that. Like, I think he's one of those guys. He's not crazy expensive. He's like $12 million a year. His glove is phenomenal. He has his bat the best, but he's a great locker room guy. He's like Kike, right? Like, you're not going to look at Kike's stats at every series or even every postseason series of, oh my God, he's smashing the ball. He's hitting for 300 average. Like, but he's like a heartbeat of that team. So I don't think he's going anywhere. And he probably shouldn't, because that dude plays a hell of a third base. That corner, he owns the shit out of that corner, man. And sometimes you just got to take the good with the bad.
did you guys hear about that young 14-year-old the Dodgers signed? Graduates in 2028. He's a shortstop from Mexico, and at 14 he's like 6'1".
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he hits the fucking shit out of the ball. But yeah, baseball's weird, man, because like they can't sign him to a contract till they're a certain age. It's all verbal agreement. Like, everything can change. Yeah, he's a phenom down there, man. Like, they all talk about how good he's gonna be. He's like the next big thing out of Mexico. So, Dodgers have always done really good at going around and finding those players, man. They've done it for a long time. But
what's your guys' take on real quick on Flaherty? Moving on.
I think with the pieces coming back and with the players available, I don't see a reason. I mean, Flaherty did great. I know he kept making comments he wants to stay there. Like, if you offer him a contract and he wants to take the cut and it be a little lower and he ends up as a rotation or a pin guy that comes in on the rotation here and there, I could see him sticking around maybe. But with the amount of players coming back and who they're looking to sign, I just don't see him having a spot.
I don't either. He had a pretty good year. He's probably due for a payday from somebody. I just can't see them doing it.
I think a lot's going to depend on if they're able to. They may pivot to him, but I think it's going to depend on if they get Max Fried. They are the team that will sign Sasaki. If he gets posted by his team, the Dodgers will be the one to land him. I mean, you think
they definitely need to add starting pitching this offseason?
No, they're just going to. If he becomes available, they're going to. Yeah, man. You look how much like Kershaw.
I mainly mean like the Fried or the Fried or Flaherty debate. Like,
yeah. I think one of them. I think if you get a chance to get Fried, you go for him. I think he's a difference maker compared to like a Flaherty. Flaherty's a guy, right? He's going to give you some innings here and there. Max Fried is nasty. Like, that's Cy Young type of shit, man, when he's rolling. If you get a chance to sign Max Fried, you try. And if we get a chance to sign Roki Sasaki, the Dodgers are going to do it because it's a different kind of contract when they come over, right? So,
yeah, it's way different.
And he wants to come here, so they're not gonna not do it. So that's the thing. I mean, he's got a relationship with two guys on our team.
I'm about to say the two guys are going to be superstars already. You're like, hey, come here.
Right. So it's very clear if he gets posted, and they're starting to say it sounds like he's going to get posted. So I honestly expect him to be with the Dodgers. So
that'd be cool.
And we need a lefty. So when you really think about us, Clayton Wright he's pretty much done. So we need a lefty in the mix. We really do. And Glasnow, you never know, man. We're not really sure. He's always hurt. I love him, but he's always hurt.
Yeah.
So I think anytime you can add pitching to that team, you add them.
They're World Series champions, man. And like Walker Buehler said, people talk a lot of shit about 2020. There's nothing they can say about this one.
Yeah, not at all. Man, and Walker to come in that last inning and just slam that door, dude. Awesome. What a moment.
Man, what was so funny about that, man, we can get in it. We'll go to college football, is we were watching the game. Doug was over, and Doug and his family were over, and He goes, oh man, who else are they going to throw? And he goes, I think they're going to throw Walker Buehler. I'm like, no fucking way. No way. They need him for 7, blah, 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 blah. And about 15 minutes later, they flash him on the screen and they show him in the bullpen. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, why isn't he in the dugout? And Doug's like, I'm telling you. As soon as that happens, my phone rings and it's Tyler. You know who they're going to bring in? Walker fucking Buehler. I'm like, no, dude, you think so? Yeah, it was such a, yeah, it was just, I couldn't believe it. I was super happy for him. He had a hell of a year, struggle-wise, health-wise. What a moment for him. I know he's not on the team anymore. Same thing when Julio closed out 2020. It felt awesome for that dude to be able to do that. So,
You know what? You know what's crazy? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. In that last inning, Walker Buehler's miles per hour were up by 3. His average was up by 3, and his strike to ball ratio was like, I think he threw 2 balls out of every pitch he threw or something like that. I can't remember. Obviously, there's a couple not in the zone that they swung at, but he just was there. It was that moment. It was just Dave Roberts and him probably talking that dugout, and he says, "Listen, you're going in. You're going to win this game for us." And it was just that adrenaline just changes everything.
Well, he's just got big nuts, bro.
He sure does.
He told
I'd
Dave,
love to see them keep him, man.
He told Dave, I'm going to the bullpen. I'm there if you need me. Like he's that guy, right? Some guys just driving that pressure, man. He's always been that guy for us.
He just reminds me of a young Clayton Kershaw, and I honestly think he's got some better stuff than Clayton Kershaw, which is crazy. Clayton was great for us, but like there's a difference maker. Buehler has done it now in the playoffs. Kershaw had moments, but we'll see. Hopefully we keep him. I know he's going into free. He has a chance to go to free agency. I just don't see him wanting to leave. I mean, this is his team if he stays. It's his team as the starter. And
well, look, okay, hold on though. How many innings did he throw in the whole? Right, you got to get down to like he didn't throw that many innings in the series, right? So when you start like comparing him to, we're gonna get way off task here, right? Like start comparing him to like Clayton, right, in the series when we're like counting on Clayton to win Game 1 and Game 5. Like honestly, when you looked at the series before, we weren't looking at it like we had to have Buehler's game. We were looking at it like we got to have Flaherty, we got to have Yamamoto, and anything Buehler can give us will be great. And he came out, pitched his nuts off. So I mean, I think he did exactly what we need. I don't know if you heard it right on Mookie's podcast. Him and Dave talked about the day that Glasnow went down, and they basically had a team meeting before the game, and he called Walker out in front of the team, right? He knew he had a relationship with him. Dave said, like, he knew he could call him out, and he pretty much told him, like, you got to start bringing it, man. Like, we need you. We've lost too much. We're going to lean on you. And so ball was pretty much in his court, man, and he did what he had to do. So I'd love to see him stay at the Dodger, man. That'd be great.
Me too. Homegrown dude. Love to see him.
Great dude.
Yeah, that'd be way cool.
But
well,
all right, we're homers. Let's fucking move on.
Yeah, we are homers, big homers. But now it's the big talk. On Tuesday, they dropped the wonderful rankings of the college playoffs that we're looking at here. Anthony, I'll let you run this first because I know this is you've been digging into this a lot more than me and Brad for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things when I look at this. I mean, I'm not sold completely on BYU. I think the old Buffaloes might have something to say about that. Barring they can get a crack at the conference championship game, but the biggest one for me, and I can't wait to see it, and I have no idea, but Ohio State and Indiana play next week. Ohio State wins that game, and then that puts Ohio State versus Oregon in the Big Ten title game. That's going to be a big swing. And I think neutral field, Ohio State wins that one. But I think either way, it's 1-5 there. The other one that it scares the shit out of me, because every week it seems like they are down or they're close and then they pull away, is if Miami can keep it up. I don't know where. I think they're a playoff team, but I'm trying not to be a prisoner of their moment, but I still think Clemson has a good shot at that ACC. I know they let us all down last weekend on our on some wagers we placed, but I really like Clemson most of this year. I still think they're going to have something to say in that ACC, and I think, I think Georgia handles business against Ole Miss and probably wins the SEC. Everything else looks pretty spot on. I don't really agree with Notre Dame being in it, but I would probably rather see like LSU and Bama in there instead of Notre Dame. But if they're one loss and they're beating the shit out of teams, I guess I get it. But what do you think, Brad?
Go ahead.
Well,
Make an espresso.
no, okay.
Embark on a magical.
I agree with most of it. I actually think I agree with Anthony. I think Ohio State beats Oregon on a neutral field.
Yeah.
So I feel like they end up moving into the top 4. I think Georgia wins the SEC. I actually think BYU or Iowa State wins the Big 12. I know that Anthony thinks Colorado. I don't see Clemson getting in. I think Miami's rode the teeter-totter, but I think they're going to be able to get it done. I got to tell you, I'm not sure about Clemson. I mean, SMU has I wouldn't say an easy schedule, but I think they're going to be facing Miami in that ACC championship. They got Boston College, Virginia, and Cal left, and they're undefeated in the ACC.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to lose. I think they're going to play Miami in the championship, but Miami, they don't play anybody left. They got Georgia Tech this week, pretty good game.
Yeah.
But then they got Wake Forest and Syracuse. So I
think I just assumed SMU would stumble at some point, and me talking about Ohio State and Oregon playing was assuming that Indiana drops to Ohio State next week. I mean, who knows what the hell happens if Indiana goes and beats Ohio State, and now they're undefeated, and it's Oregon and Oregon and Indiana. So there's a lot that can move and shake, but just assuming that this happens, assuming that SMU stumbles, I think Clemson's probably a better matchup. I think Miami would prefer to play SMU, would be my guess.
See, I think they would, but like SMU, they're on a run, but they won like 6 games in a row. They've got Boston. That's the thing. It's not going to matter. They just beat Pitt. Pitt's in the top 25. They play Boston College, at Virginia, and versus Cal. I think they're winning all 3 of those games. I don't know. So I think they're going to somehow – that's going to kind of screw Clemson. You know what, though? It could help Clemson. Some of these teams are going to get in because they don't have to play in their championship games. So that's where it gets a little weird, right? Like Alabama, LSU, whoever wins this weekend is probably getting in because they should win out. But they're not going to play in the SEC championship game. So they're going to sit with 2 losses and be about where they're ranked, right? So I can't say that I totally disagree with anything they have here. I know you think Colorado, but I still think BYU or Iowa State. Notre Dame's going to get in. They always do. They're the main.
I can't stand that.
And Boise State, I still see them. They're the team I've had the whole time. So
you sure did.
I think that's going to be And what are we looking at here? SEC's only got 3. Big Ten, what are we talking? 4?
Big Ten's
1,
4.
2, 3. Yeah, it's about right. I can't say I disagree at this point with where we are.
I just don't know the tiebreaker situation. I guess so. Maybe I need to learn.
I do have something to say though. I do have something to say.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, we're just rambling here.
Everybody keeps talking about Notre Dame making it. They still got to go play an Army team that is playing very, very high football, and they play Army. They play Army week 13. Army's ranked 18, and if Notre Dame keeps winning, they're in the top 10. Does that give Army a chance to make it? Because they've beat some ranked opponents this year already. Do they have an opportunity to take that 12th spot? I know Boise's up there, but I don't. The way we learned how the 12th spot works, it's the best overall conference strength and the conference winner. So out of all the conferences that don't make it, they're going to take the 5th best strength, like based on records based on like their strength of schedule they had. And like, did Boise State?
I don't think that's how. So it's the highest ranked team.
Highest ranked team
that won their conference championship.
Won their conference championship. But there's 4 other conferences. So how do you pick the conference?
Yeah.
The strongest.
But they're showing you right now. Yeah. They're showing you right now they've got Boise State. They've already got them in.
Yeah, they've got
So
him in, but now if Army goes and beats Notre Dame, does that change that strength? Because they beat a top 10 team. Does it
I
change the
guess at
fact
that
that
point, it's just a matter if they rank Army over. What conference is Army in? I guess I don't know that.
I think it's I just looked
they're
at
the
it.
AAC,
Yeah,
Yeah.
AAC,
the
which is
AAC.
doesn't got a lot of good
So,
teams in it, you know.
well, the scary thing for them is this weekend they don't know if their quarterback's playing. So
Yes, yeah, that did change a lot.
they've got to get him back, man. That's
Have you looked?
Yeah.
Their points against? They've kept in what week? Week 11. They've kept them
yeah, they've
under
only given
100,
90.
90 points only.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
there's a good defense over there, or they're just playing bad teams. I don't know.
well,
Well,
you talked about Notre Dame. They also play USC the last week of the season, which isn't going to be a cakewalk game either.
No,
So
I don't think so
I'd,
either.
I'd like to see them out, maybe another SEC team in personally. I just think that makes for a better playoff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Boise. I don't really see. I mean, I guess what's funny, Tyler, and I don't know where the rankings go. I know you were big on this team. I'm looking at the standings for the AAC. It's them and Tulane that are
Tulane, yeah.
undefeated in that
So, like,
conference. So
I
it just
don't know.
depends on where it ranks. So even if they win the championship, but Boise, it's not about the conference strength, it's the team strength. So if Boise is ranked 14 and Army's ranked 18, but they both win, Boise would technically get into that spot.
yep.
So, and
So-
that's what's crazy. So if Boise State goes and they win out and they got one loss, and Army wins out, beats Notre Dame, and they have no losses. How do you sit there and pick that? Like that's tough.
It's
Mountain West is definitely a stronger conference. Like
that's what it's
Colorado,
about.
UNLV,
Is your
like
team better, yeah.
yeah. Which,
Well, and their one loss to beat is to Oregon. So
yeah, and
I mean, it's
but who knows, man? There's so many good games left this year. I was looking at them every week. There's a big game that can change tides of where this is going to end up.
Boy, I would love to see Ohio State lose on out of here, get beat by Indiana, somehow lose to Michigan again this year.
Yeah.
Just I'd love to see them get their ass kicked. I talked to my buddy Chris, who's a big Ohio State fan, yesterday on the phone, and he was like, "Yep, if they lose to Michigan, Ryan Day may not even coach the bowl game or whatever it is they have going on. They might fire him immediately. I don't care if they still make the playoffs and make the semis. He loses to Michigan, he's gone."
Oh, by the way, one of my bean bets is playing right now, so I'll know if I don't win my 10-legger.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Ohio
Perfect.
Bobcats are up 10-0 right now, so we're looking good.
We're looking solid. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see how this goes, but I think there's as Brad mentioned, a huge game, Alabama LSU this week.
Golly, yeah.
Indiana plays Michigan, so they'll probably win that one, and then next week is Ohio State, Indiana. That's a massive game. So Georgia and Ole Miss is also a pretty big game because this is Ole Miss on life support, I think, right? Like they've got an outside shot to get in, but they got to beat Georgia this week.
I'm gonna call it now. Tennessee will not make the playoffs. That's okay. My Tennessee will not make the playoffs. I think Alabama needs to win out to have a chance. Obviously, they're stringing it, but they're right on the edge. And I'm kind of with you on BYU, man. I just don't know. I watch them. I've watched games. I've watched them a couple times. Like sometimes they look great, and then sometimes you're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Like, but you got to remember,
Miami's a team that scares me. Dude.
Same thing.
They toy with teams, and then they think they can flip the switch. What happens when you run into maybe a Clemson or an SMU in the conference championship game, and you turn that switch on? It's too late, Like, so I don't know. I like Cam Ward, and that offense. Have liked him since we talked about him early in September. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. I'm glad they're coming out with the rankings now. But so much can change in the next 3-4 weeks.
Well, you got to think. You got to think next week. Tennessee plays Georgia, so that's fucking humongous game. That's where I think if Tennessee loses, they're out. They're out of the playoffs.
I don't think so though. If they win their other 3 games, you're SEC and only 2 losses.
I mean,
they're only at 2 losses.
They're only going to be at 2 losses.
in the SEC, but does that put them
No,
into the
they're
championship game?
7-1 right now. You don't have to play now taking 12, you don't have to play in the championship game.
I
Right? Like
understand that.
if you're 2 losses, if Tennessee is a 2-loss team, if they're 10-2, they're not playing the championship game, but they're getting in the top 12. That's the
Yeah.
same thing with Alabama or LSU. They're not going to play in the SEC championship game, but one of them's going to have 2 losses. They're going to be 10-2. They're getting in. One of them is 2 losses from the Big Ten and the SEC. Those teams are all getting in.
Yeah. I
That's
would
my
like
opinion.
to see who's ranked right outside of this.
You got one loss SMU, a 2-loss Texas A&M, who also plays Texas at the end of the year.
Yep.
A 1-loss or 2-loss LSU, a 2-loss Ole Miss, a 1-loss Iowa State, 1-loss Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh has a big game next week.
Yeah.
Coming up, Kansas State with a 2.
Me personally,
I don't like Kansas State at all, man. They fucking confuse me.
So you think, Brad? You personally think whoever loses this week between LSU and Alabama, they're donezo? No 3-loss team get in the playoff.
No, I don't think so. I think you've got to let these. I don't think so. Unless you end up with just mass hysteria, and Iowa State ends up with 3 losses, and BYU ends up with 2, and I feel like you're going to have some of that happen. But I think a 2-loss Clemson probably is getting in over 3-loss Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. That's the way I see it playing out. I mean, this shit's such a mess, man, and we're all guessing. We have no fucking clue.
Yeah, it's
all
I
new,
would like
right?
to see.
So
it's all
I'd
over
like
the
to see
place.
someone in there besides Notre Dame, dude. I don't think Notre Dame
So would
gives us
I.
a good play. I'd love to see.
But we
somebody
talked
else.
about it at the beginning of the year, right? They're Notre Dame.
Yeah, but they
They're
got a
gonna
loss.
if they only have 2 losses, if they lose a
got
couple more
one.
games, they're out. They lose 3, they're done. But I think if they
I
have 2,
think
they're
they.
putting
I
them
think
in.
if they lose 2, they're done. I don't think they're. I think they're putting in a Clemson, and I think if they lose 2,
I don't know,
they're out
man.
1 right now.
I think if they only end up with 2, they end up in.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the 2. I think if they turn around somehow lose this week to Florida State, who's unranked, I think they're out. They're out by one.
They're not getting in.
They're not going to. But and then if they turn around and they play next week, they play Virginia. They go lose to Virginia, who's unranked, and then you turn around and play Army, who is ranked and looking to make a push at number 18. And then their last game of the year, Notre Dame is playing USC. I don't think they have a cakewalk as they've got to win all 4.
That's why I'm saying
all 4.
That's why I'm saying if they only have 2 losses, I think they get in, because that means they at least probably beat like Army and USC, because they lose one of those other games, right? Or they when you really get down to it, they only have 2. I don't see how they don't. It's just Notre Dame, man. They're putting them in.
There is just so much to look at, because speaking of Texas A&M at 14, if they win out and they play Texas at the end and beat Texas, what do you do there? Like Texas is,
then they're in.
They're in, but Texas
in.
as a 7-2 Texas team, do they fall out?
That would put Texas out of the SEC championship game and Texas A&M in. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mess.
Crazy.
I can't wait. I'm here
fucking
for
love it. There's so many
Who's your
variables.
Before we go on to the NFL, who's your Heisman pick? Where are we thinking here?
Man,
I'm telling you right now, man. Ashton. If Ashton Janty, whatever the fuck you say his last name, if that boy don't win Heisman, I'm so confused what they want in college. That dude's got over 20 touchdowns. He's got like over 1,500 rushing yards. He's a fucking animal, dude.
So what is it right now? I think the top 2 are Hunter and Ward.
Yeah, I think
Ward then it's Dill, and then it's Gabriel and Ashton.
Yeah, I think it depends on the book, but the betting favorite right now appears to be Cam Ward.
Yeah,
but
he keeps playing the way he's playing. I think Cam.
Yeah, actually on FanDuel Sportsbook, you got Travis Hunter and Cam Ward the same
tied.
plus 185.
Yep.
So and then Dylan Gabriel there too, but I mean Dylan Gabriel they're past their big they're past their big games, so I could see them, him jumping them if Cam Ward slips. But I think the best 2 players in all of college football are Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty. And would
Oh,
love to
yes.
see all four of the. I would love to see all four of these guys on the stage. I don't know how many they take. I think they normally take 3 or 4 to New York or
I
whatever
think
it
so.
is. Yeah,
think
I'd
so.
like to
It
see all
should-
4 of these guys up
Those
there.
should be the 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
How
And
many
that's what the betting odds tell you.
How many touchdowns does he have right now on the dot?
Genty?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I'll look right now. Genty touchdowns. He has a lot of yards too.
Yeah, it's just crazy amount of
unreal.
yards.
He has 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. So he has 21 touchdowns on the season so far.
Well,
That's
he
crazy.
won't. I don't see him catching Barry Sanders, which Barry Sanders had one of the most incredible years. With the
What Barry have?
I don't remember if this was in '88 for Oklahoma State. He had 2,850 rushing yards with 37 touchdowns.
Holy moly!
Yeah, Barry Sanders was a fucking god to football. dude.
Yeah,
Hey,
two,
Hey, before we move into Jelly Bean, I did forget to ask you guys. Do you guys know who let I got to get back to the Dodgers. I can't fucking get them out of my mind. Do you know who led the Dodgers? Yeah, fuck them. Fuck all these people that are mad at us talking about the Dodgers.
yeah.
Do you know who led the Dodgers in hits in the World Series?
Tommy Eben.
Damn, I'm trying to think
Yes.
now.
Like for this series against the
For this series, who led the team in hits in the World Series?
Kike Hernandez.
Why do I feel like
You would assume you want to say Freddie, but I don't think it was.
why do I want to think it was Oscar Hernandez?
Yeah, you fucking this dude right here is so slick and looking.
No,
This
I'm not
dude's
looking.
slick.
I'm looking right here. I was
No,
just trying to
it is.
remember. Was
Hey,
it
it's
Teo?
crazy.
Is it Teo?
It's Teo. It's Teo.
Because
He hit 7.
I remember the NLCS, or he just
Well, I heard it
disappeared.
and I was like, in my mind, I was thinking he'd be about third. I started ranking, and in my head, I was kind of like going through, and I'm like, okay, Freddie had a bunch of bombs. Edmund, like I was kind of doing the same thing, and I was like, Teo had some hits, and I was
Freddie-
like, Teo's probably third or fourth, and then they answered, and they're like Teo, and I was like, shit.
Yeah,
He-
I never
he-
would have guessed that, man. I
7
would've
hits
put
and
him up
7
there.
hits in 5 games. Okay, we'll get back
Pretty
to
good.
football. Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
Fuck
hey,
all you Giant fans. Fuck the
Yeah.
Giants.
yeah.
Fuck the
Hey.
Padres.
You know what's awesome? You know what's awesome is when the Dodgers win it back to back. All those Giant fans, when they were shitting on us about winning 3 World Series in 6 years or whatever it was, don't worry, brothers. We're right behind you.
Don't worry, brother.
Can't wait.
Keep
Can't
Harden.
wait.
We're going to the
It's an
NFL now.
exciting time, regardless.
Yeah.
I think we
Yes.
got to do our
Whatever.
jelly bean bets.
Oh yeah, we got to go to Jelly Beans, dude.
Okay. We're going to Jelly Beans first. Let's go there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Slide over. So we'll look at the standings. We missed it last week. I hit a fucking grand slam out of the door for a whopping like 380 or something like that on a $25 bet, and unfortunately, then I threw it all back out with $172 zero, and that was a Clemson fall because I had Clemson. We had Clemson everywhere. Fuck Clemson, pieces of shit.
Fuck Clemson. Fuck you, Dabo.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
God dang it.
My goal, I just think my goal right now is to just try to get in the damn green, dude. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we're gonna be able to catch Horton because I think he's gonna go all in
I
on us here.
don't know. Okay, I will say I went all in this week, but I think I have some pretty good sure bets. I feel pretty confident in. They're very similar to what I know you guys are betting when I looked back at them. So we'll see. But I'll take the cake since I'm in the green and Brad is now in the red again. Okay, we'll get back to it. Sorry. I got a 3-leg.
Shit.
I got a 3-leg for $75. Iowa to cover Colorado and BYU. A massive 10-legger with my Ohio Bobcats winning right now. So we're gonna get one on the board out of this 10-legger good for 1736 for an 83.68 profit. And then another awesome 3-legger with Indiana and Tennessee to money line and Georgia to cover. $50 on that one. So if I lose, back to fucking zero, baby. We start all over. But the profit's been pretty good. It's been fun. A lot of jelly beans. I just haven't got to eat any of them yet.
I like that 3-legger of yours. I think that one's gonna hit.
The
I
Iowa.
it is. Yeah, no, your 3-leg with Indiana and Tennessee and Georgia.
Yeah.
It's fun. You could tell you just did your bets right before we started. Because if you go to mine,
Oh,
I got Georgia at
2.5.
2.5.
Yes, same as me.
Ah, yeah.
I got it at 2.5 earlier today, or
Yeah.
last night when I did mine. So I love that 2.5 hook. I don't think that's enough. I think I've seen Ole Miss shoot themselves in the foot quite often. I like Georgia to win that game handily. And here I go again, one more path down the road with Clemson. Damn, dude, I don't know. We'll see. I like the number for them. I'm not too concerned about it. It's at Virginia Tech, so it is a road game, but I still like them to clear the touchdown. So I put 20 on my 25 on that to win 52.89, which I think will get me somewhat into the green, or at least not even for the year.
Dang,
And
that's
then
a
I
big
did a
one.
little.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did a 7-legger.
That 7-legger is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll see what happens here. You got Colorado to cover at Texas Tech, BYU to cover the 4 at Utah. Utah is just not the same team we all thought they would be, losing their quarterback. I do. Tennessee's a really good team, but they've played really close games. They really haven't blown a lot of people out. They've kept it respectable. I could see Mississippi State keeping it closer than 23.5. Army. It's funny. I bet Army to cover the 6, and I picked at Brad's bets before we started. And I think he went North Texas, didn't you? Against
In a
Army?
teaser. In a teaser,
Oh,
yeah.
in a teaser. Okay, in a teaser, yeah.
Nah,
So you
not just
think
the
it's gonna be a
regular
little
number.
closer? I got Army to cover the touchdown. I also have Iowa State, and I got Miami to cover the 11. And then the other one is Purdue to cover 38 against Ohio State. I think they're getting to this point of the year where you go up 28-0, 31-0, 35-7. Starters are going to come out. Health is a big deal. This Purdue team just covered a spread against Oregon as well. So I know it's on the road in Ohio State, but I do like Purdue to cover that 38.
Purdue's been playing good football, man. They're
Yeah,
unfortunately not as
they're not-
big.
Yeah, they're a respectable team, and I don't think they're going to get pushed around. I could see them putting up a couple of touchdowns and maybe losing 42-10, 42-14, something like that. So I bet 5. That's my honey bet there. I'm going to try to hit that thing, but I do like my surefire one, the 2-legger right there.
What's crazy is
I'm going to bet that one myself.
If you hit that 7-legger, I also hit my 3-legger because we have the exact same teams in there.
Do you really?
So yeah, we do. We got Iowa, BYU, and Colorado. So it's a win-win if they hit it. I do want to throw a little update out there. Ohio Bobcats up 13-0, so we're still looking strong. We'll float over to Brad.
1 out of 10, baby. You're
1 out of 10, baby.
There.
We're starting there. We're starting strong. Better than fucking Clemson.
That's funny shit.
Fuck. Ain't no doubt. Fuck Clemson.
We're starting over though this weekend, boys. It'll be all right.
Ugh. I don't even know where I'm at total wise, and frankly, I don't give a shit right now.
Well, you're down.
I just need to win some bets, man.
46 in the red, I think.
I think last week I missed one on my. Yeah, it was one. Nebraska lost.
Yep.
So that was my downfall last week. This week, 3-leg parlay, like Anthony mentioned. I have North Texas in here, but I'm teasing it up 6.5 points. So I'm actually gonna take Florida on the road at Texas, getting plus 28. They're gonna get their asses whooped, but I mean they were able to keep it respectable against Georgia. Their defense is actually pretty nasty, so I think they can keep it within 28. Or I'm gonna hope they can keep it within 28. The next one is, I mentioned the Army quarterback being hurt. He's still questionable. I think on the road at North Texas is actually a tough place to actually play. I'm going to put that at 12.5. I think Army wins the game. I could see Anthony actually covering the 6 and me getting the 12.5. So we'll see how that works. And then Vanderbilt
wouldn't hurt nobody.
Yeah, it could be a win-win, right? Vandy at home getting points against South Carolina. So I know South Carolina is playing well. But Vandy's played well all year, right? So When I saw that they were, 3.5 dogs at home, I'm like, man, I'm going to bump that up to 10 and go with it. So it's a simple $15 bet. Obviously, you don't get paid much on a teaser. It's just plus 160. Give you back $24. And then the 7-leg parlay plus 728. I got Georgia at 2.5 as well. The rest of them are money line. Um, Indiana, I feel like they're going to take care of business. TCU at home, Penn State at home, Louisiana Lafayette. I think they're playing like Arkansas State. Pittsburgh needs another win to stay in it. And then this is the one that makes me feel a little sick to my stomach. And I'm not, I'll be honest, I'm going with it, man. It's a hard place to play. It's Death Valley. Uh, I'm not sure, fellas, but I'm riding with it. I'm rolling Tide.
Roll Tide,
It was like
roll.
I was looking at it. I think before I placed them in, I think it was like plus 2 something, right? And I'm like, I need to get those odds up. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it's such a close game that I could add a team like that and get a little bit of money. So put 10 in, make 72.83. I think I would be back in the positive. I believe.
Yeah, you would at that point.
Yes.
So
you're 46 in the red right now.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I've kind of been up and down the whole year. I know I've been green twice, but I need to get back in the green, man.
We'll get there. We will get there. Well, on to the
Oh,
NFL. Yeah. Like I said, guys, before I like to always stress everybody, gambling. We are betting jelly beans, but gambling is you're not going to win. If you have a gambling problem, please take care of it. Don't bet the house because the house wins every time. Into the NFL we go. Brad, I got some things for you I wanted to show you, and I think you'll really appreciate what I've produced for you. Can you see the screen?
Let me ask you a question.
Before I show, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure you can see what I'm showing, but I'll let him explain it first.
Before we go down this path, Brad, this is your first year on the Sleeper app, right? For fantasy football?
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything unique about some of the people's pictures on there?
Yes.
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You see all of them?
Go ahead.
Yes. I've looked at some. I've looked at some of them. I've looked at some of them recently. Yes.
Top to bottom.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
All right.
I've looked at them. I actually looked at them recently.
King Henry.
Oh, you did?
Classic.
Dude. Yeah. I was on the phone with Tyler yesterday.
The next best one.
We couldn't breathe. We're laughing so fucking hard at this one here.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Patty. And the greatest one of them all, Aaron Rodgers.
It's fucking great.
Oh my god, dude! We were on the phone talking trade, right? And I pulled over on the side of the road. We're talking trade, and all of a sudden I'm like, Horton, go to this guy's team. Look at Aaron Rodgers' picture, and we just start busting up. We both can't even breathe. We're laughing.
Classic. Oh man, I can't even get over these pictures.
I got to be honest. When you first started talking, I thought you were talking about some of our league members' team profiles.
No.
And I got to be honest. I was like, if they're going to pull those up, we're probably going to get banned. So I thought we were going somewhere else, and then you pulled those up, and I'm like, yes, I've seen these too.
These are
Aaron Rodgers one is so fantastic.
I honestly thought you were about to pull up Chapman's profile picture, and I was like, don't do that.
Listen,
we talked about that too.
Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
The Sleeper app will never see our podcast, but if you ever do, thank you. Thank you for these moments. Dude, they were classic. We need more. We need more. Yeah. I think, and I don't know if these are individual player ideas or if they're just fucking winging them. And dude, whoever created
the Jefferson one's good too.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. It's him doing his little dance. But
with the little eyes and stuff. Yeah.
What a classic. What a classic moment. Awesome.
Oh man, we were cracking.
By far the best fantasy app too. Not even close.
I do enjoy it. I don't like all the extra little shit they add in there that when you misclick and it takes you to some weird betting thing. And I wish you could remove those and just have the fantasy app, but I get it.
Well, that's why it's free though, right?
It's free, exactly.
One of those things.
It is definitely Sleeper is one of the best so far. I really do enjoy it. If we can get off CBS, I'm A-okay with that.
We have to.
Yeah, it's going to be a bitch to do it. I will have to edit. That'd take a lot of work on one person, so we'll have to figure that out. However, but besides that, let's dive head in on this. and I know me and you, Anthony, have talked about it a little bit. What the fuck is going on in New Orleans? Like, where are we going? You know, is it rebuild mode? Is it Derek Carr's done? And what's up?
They're it's confusing because they just extended Alvin Kamara. So it to me, it's like, well, if you were going in rebuild mode, you probably aren't extending him. But what I was telling Tyler yesterday is Derek Carr is a fan favorite around our house. He has been for a long time. And I know he missed some games and stuff like that, but if I had to guess, my guess is that he's heading to the bench sooner rather than later. And I don't really think it has a whole lot to do with him. I know he didn't play well. They started out 2-0. They looked like the best team in football. And then they lost a few games and he got hurt. But when you got Spencer Rattler there, I feel like you have to give your rookie some run and see if you like the guy and to see if this is going to be the guy of the next year. Otherwise, you're in the quarterback market year after that. So I think they traded Lattimore to the Commanders. They fired Dennis Allen, but they extended Kamara. I think it's a weird financial thing. It's kind of a weird. Their cap is really strapped, but yeah, I just think at some point it's going to be Spencer Rattler's show for the last 6-7 weeks of the season, 5, 6, 7 weeks of the season, to see if they're gonna be in the quarterback market or not.
Yeah, I think this was a year where the Saints felt they had a really good team. It ended well for them with Derek Carr and all that. Like I think like they looked like they were going to be a team that could do something this year. They started off great, but I just don't know. They lost a lot of pieces to injuries. If you do go into rebuild mode, like, do you fire sell Kamara in the offseason for draft picks? You know, there's teams begging for a running back. Like, I don't doubt the Cowboys would jump on a Kamara trade, to Dallas. Like,
I don't know. He didn't jump on Derrick Henry in the free agent market.
Yeah, I think Derrick Henry thing was different. I think there was already a moment where he's like, this is where I'm going. He already knew where he wanted to go. There was conversations between him and Lamar.
He wanted to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
He lives in Dallas.
I know that.
I want to go to Dallas.
But from what I read, he got better connection from the team in Baltimore than he did in Dallas.
Jerry Jones sucks ass. That's what I'm saying.
Dak Prescott wasn't calling Derrick Henry saying, yo, come on over. But Lamar Jackson was in his back pocket every fucking day. If you go read what Lamar's basically said, Lamar said, dude, you come here, we're winning a Super Bowl. Like, I don't know, man. Dallas confuses me. I think I showed Anthony who I voted for. And it was a check mark by a blank box, and it said Cowboys suck.
Yeah. That's a good one. I don't know, dude. I think the Cowboys suck, but they ran so piss poor. I don't know. I don't know about why you would sign Kamara and guarantee him money, and when you guarantee him more money, you make him harder to trade. So maybe they don't think they're that far away, but trading Lattimore kind of tells something else. But we talked about quarterbacks being benched. I mentioned it to Tyler that I also think we only got a week or two left with Daniel Jones being a starting quarterback. Also,
I do agree.
And I was telling him, I heard this the other day, that he has I think it's like a $30 million injury guarantee for next season. Very similar to when Carr got benched by the Raiders and Russell Wilson got benched by the Broncos. So I think at some point when they say, okay, we're done, they are going to bench him. They have Drew Lock to play quarterback, probably going to get a little bit of better quarterback play. I think that happens sooner rather than later. The Daniel Jones experience is going to be over pretty quick here, I think.
Yep. I don't doubt that. And who knows like what's going to happen in the offseason if Bryce Young stays with, the Panthers, or if they just kind of say, nah, we're done. Like, we'll trade him out and he goes somewhere else. There's a few teams that are in quarterback situation. Geno Smith with Seattle. Like, when is that going to be done? Like, it's
This
obvious.
year.
It's obvious that the guy is just a middle of the pack kind of guy in the sense of, He's a good backup, but he's not a guy that's going to lead you to win big games. Now talking about that, Lions, man, I don't even know. They're just so fucking good. The Lions are so damn good this year.
Yeah, they handled Green Bay, man. It wasn't even particularly close the whole time. I think they're head and shoulders the best team in football. I think it's them, and then it's Kansas City, and it's not. And I don't even think they're really comparable. I think Kansas City's trying to coast and stay healthy and get through the season, and then when it's playoff time, they can turn it on. But I was thinking,
their refs look pretty healthy to me.
Oh yeah, they look real good. If the Niners don't get this shit together, man, like this, it might be a cakewalk for the Lions.
It's all good. Don't worry. We ain't gonna talk about it. Christian McCaffrey's back this week, bro. It's all good. It's all gravy. Got five starters coming back this week. We're all right. I'm not even gonna get on that rant right now. I won't, because I'll go for 20 minutes.
I think it could be a cakewalk for the Lions, Brad. What do you think? Like the NFC looks very top heavy.
Man, the Lions just look real, man. Yeah. The Lions look like the real fucking deal. I don't see anybody in the NFC right now that I think could stand with them, but
dude,
yeah.
they win.
I don't see anybody right now. They're clear cut. Yeah, I think they're clear cut better than them. They've got so many more weapons.
They went into Lambeau in their first outdoor game in the fucking rain and absolutely dismantled Green Bay.
That was the question I had. Wow. Right? How is Jared Goff going to play in the weather? And they're not going to have to play in the weather, right? They're going to be the number 1 seed. They're going to be at home. That stadium is insane. Yeah.
It's going to be great to watch the Niners beat them there.
I don't think so. I don't think so this year. We'll see.
You guys got to get hot.
Hey,
we might be having a jelly bean bet on that one.
Hey, we can jelly bean bet all you want. Like I said, when CMC comes back, bro, Shanahan's book opens wide, and we all know that. You can clearly tell the difference of a non-Christian McCaffrey Niners team and a Christian McCaffrey's Niners team. So we'll see.
So let's talk about the Niners then. Let's do it. That NFC West, bro,
it's wide the fuck open.
It's wide open. I'm not even going to ask you what you think's going to happen because we know what your prediction's going to be. Brad, what do you see? I mean, right now, Arizona's actually in the driver's seat here. If it ended right now, Arizona would be the winner of the NFC West. I know we got a long football year to go, but who do you see coming out of the West?
Well, a couple weeks ago, I said the Niners were still the team. I'm looking at the Rams schedule right now. Dolphins, that's a win. Patriots, a win. I think the Rams, they host the Cardinals the next time around. They're at the 49ers. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, just to fuck with Tyler because I know his answer. So, and I've been saying that. I've been saying the Niners the whole year. So if it's not the Niners for me, I'm going to say it's the Rams over the Cardinals.
Man, like obviously I'm a homer, right? But I'm a firm believer. No. I'm a firm believer that the game against Dallas was a get right game. It was, and without pieces. Like everybody sits here and shits all over Brock Purdy about it. He's only good because of all the pieces he has. He's been without Christian McCaffrey all year. He lost Brandon Ayuk, and Brandon was his guy last year. So the dude he's not playing like top tier quarterback play, but he's playing well enough to keep them ahead. The problem for the Niners is 2 things. 1, the defense gets stuck on the field too long, right? Because our third down fucking play sucks. And 2, we can't score in the red zone. Guess where that changes? And Christian McCaffrey's in the backfield. We were the number 1 scoring team in the red zone last year because of Christian McCaffrey. I think he had 8 touchdowns in the red zone last year. And he just opens that field. You could put him in slot. Now you got guys like Garendo in the backfield who look like they could be real runners. Can't block for shit. But, and then also Mason, you could almost swing out fucking Christian McCaffrey as a wide receiver and leave Mason or Garendo in the backfield as a running back. So there's just, I'm just saying, let Kyle Shanahan do what he does best and start play calling. He needs to learn how to fucking
Oh.
adapt, though.
I could have
God.
swore you were going to say choke with the lead in the fourth quarter.
I mean
Sorry.
that
When you
too.
said
That too.
when you said do it, he does best. I just assumed that's what where you were
Yeah.
going.
Well,
I also think the Niners. I still like the Niners, man. I just can't trust the Rams yet. I still think the Niners have the best roster in the NFC. Well, like the Lions probably have you there, but in that division for sure. So, but when you start thinking about, the Cardinals, man, they're not supposed to be here right now. Like they're really not supposed to be here. They're a young team. I like Kyler. Yeah, they can make some waves too. I'm not sure, but um, speaking of playoff spots and division leads, we're going to dive in a little bit into the playoff picture and what it looks like right now. But my question to you, I want to tee up is, do you think it is too little, too late for the Jets and the Bengals? Bradley?
I think the Bengals are going to get back into it. I
Me
do.
too.
But I think the Jets are done.
Me too.
Well,
I agree.
fucking A, baby.
fucking eggs and bacon.
Let's go.
My problem is I look at this schedules, and I look at these teams. Chargers are starting to play really good football, and they're 5-3.
Incredibly good football.
The Ravens are Ravens are second in the NFC North at 6-3, with the Steelers at 6-2. So if the Steelers keep playing how they've been and they just coast along, I don't know if there's a spot for the Bengals to make it. That's the problem. The Bengals started off so bad.
Now,
do they get in? Do they get in?
I think they
no,
can
not
pass,
right now. I think they can
right
pass
now,
Denver.
yeah, they can pass Denver and they can pass Indy.
It's only 16. It's 6
they're tied
teams
with
from
they're 7. It's
okay,
7.
never mind. They're in
so
there.
They're tied with Indy, and I think they're going to catch Denver.
Yeah, so here's how it looks right now on the AFC side. You got Kansas City at seed number 1, winning the AFC West. You got Buffalo winning the AFC East, seed number 2. You got Pittsburgh winning the North, that's seed number 3. I think Baltimore wins that, but we can argue that later. Houston winning the South pretty much by default. The rest of the division sucks. And then the 3 wildcard teams right now being Baltimore, Chargers, and Denver. If it ended right now, that's how that would look. I guess I give the Steelers a wild card spot. I'm not, and we'll see. But I do like the Bengals getting in instead of the Broncos. I like, I'd rather bet on Joe Burrow than Bo Nix.
I mean, here's the thing, though. The Steelers have to play the Bengals twice, and they got to play the Ravens twice in the next, 8 weeks. So there's a lot of losses that could come to the Steelers real freaking quick if these teams stay hot.
In your world, let's just say there's a scenario where the Steelers get knocked out. Who are you saying gets in?
It's got to be the Bengals. Joe Burrow's starting to pick up speed. I don't.
So you think the Broncos stick too?
I think, man, the Steelers have got a really tough road coming ahead. Yeah, I think the Broncos and Cincinnati could squeak in together. I think Broncos might get that. Broncos might get that last spot.
Let's see what the Broncos schedule is.
I'm looking
Chiefs,
at
the Raiders again.
Chiefs.
That's a win.
The Falcons, the Raiders, the Browns, the Colts, the Chargers. They actually play the Bengals.
They got the Bengals.
So they play the Bengals. That could be the swing game. They played the Bengals in. They played the Bengals and the Chiefs to
last
close.
Week.
Look at the end of their season: Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs. They're in trouble.
They may.
Trouble.
They play the Chiefs twice.
Yeah.
Play the Chargers. Play the Bengals. They're losing 4 games at least.
Yeah, I think so too. And I wouldn't take it mark the Raiders one as a win too. They always play each other so damn tough.
That last spot is going to be up for It's going to be up for grabs for a couple teams.
That's what we're talking about right now, right? Let's just talk about it. Let's rank them. I can tell you who I got. I would have in the AFC. I would go the Chiefs number 1. I got the Bills winning the East, the Ravens winning the North, the Texans winning the South, and then my 3 wild card teams are the Steelers, Chargers, and Bengals. That's what my AFC looks like. Are we identical? What would be your 7 teams then, Tyler?
You
We're
ready?
identical.
Yep.
I got Bills number 1 because they're going to go beat
Nice.
the Chiefs. They're going to beat the Chiefs, and
Hell
Chiefs
yeah.
will lose one more game. So Bills will get that tiebreaker game. Chiefs will still stay in number 2. I see Ravens winning the North, so they'll go to 3. Texans at 4. And that's where, like, I think the Bengals come in right behind. Bengals and Chargers are both right behind. And I honestly, like, it just depends on the Jets. If the Jets can start stringing some wins, maybe they can get that 7th spot. I don't. It's super hard.
I'd like to see it happen.
You, in my opinion, you have the Colts who are terrible, but they keep winning games. They're 4-5. They're not out. The Broncos, the Raiders. Joking. And you got the Jets. I really can see the Jets squeaking into that last playoff spot. It's Aaron fucking Rodgers, man. They play the Colts, they play Seattle, they play Jacksonville, Dolphins, Rams, they play Bills once, and then they play Dolphins. There's a high chance that the Jets could win out or win a bunch of these games on the run. We'll see, though. They play the Cardinals this week. So who knows? Who knows?
All
I'd
right,
love to see.
You're on the run. Who would you have in the NFC?
In the NFC, oh, man, I'll keep it running. I think the Lions are going to outright take the NFC. They're damn good. And right behind them, I think the Commanders, man, I really do. I think the Commanders can keep pace. Daniel Jones, Jaden Daniels looks great. That team is they're looking good. Obviously, I think my Niners, they need to win out, but I don't know where they rank in the NFC. I know they're going to win the West, but my big question is the South. I don't really know. I don't know. The Buccaneers are injured, but like they put up a good fight. Like they're 2 games behind the Falcons. That's going to be a tough one. I think the Falcons are good. So I guess let me repeat this top to bottom. I got Lions, Commanders, Eagles, probably the Packers, 49ers. Damn, there's a lot of good teams in this Falcons, Vikings. Did I already say the Eagles?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I need one more team.
So you got the West. You got the Niners. Who do you got winning the East? The Commanders or the
I got the
Eagles?
Commanders winning the East.
And you got the North. You got the Lions, and in the South, you're picking Falcons.
Falcons. So there's my 4.
So then your three wild card teams are the Eagles, the Packers, and who?
And the Vikings. I
Yeah,
really think 3
Vikings.
teams get in the NFC North.
Yeah.
So I have the same thing except for my West. I put the Rams over the Niners, more to fuck with Tyler. It's either one of those 2 teams. I think the Commanders win the East, and that's because their schedule's just so much easier. They're playing like a last place schedule, right? The Eagles still play the Ravens and a few tough teams. The Eagles are playing well right now, but Commanders just have an easier schedule. So I'm the Rams, the Commanders. I have the Lions winning the North. They're the clear 1 seed. I have the Falcons winning the South, and my wild card teams are all identical: the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Packers.
And this can all change. That can all change this week with the Commanders, by the way, because they play the Eagles twice and they play them this week. So we'll see. Next week will be a different conversation.
Cowboys play the Eagles. The Cowboys play the Eagles this week. We have the same exact Brad, except I have the Eagles taking the East. I like the way that offense is coming around.
So I actually flipped it on here. I had the Eagles, but then I went and looked at the Eagles schedule. I feel like they just got a little bit tougher, right? They played the Commanders twice. I feel like that could get split, and they play the Ravens. Where then if you go look at the Commanders schedule, there's really not a whole lot to it other than those games with the Eagles,
they play
right?
The Eagles twice, yeah.
They're playing
Falcons, maybe.
They're playing a last place schedule, so they just don't play as many tough teams. I'm back and forth on that one. I totally could see the Eagles passing them. I agree.
Yeah, I got the same exact picks, except I have Commanders in the wild card spot instead of that. But I mean, and that might even be the 4-5 game, and it doesn't even matter.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The 4-5 game or the 3-6. So they're going to play each other. It's just a matter of where they play each other.
Commanders play the Steelers this week, and then the Eagles, right? So, and then they really don't have, and then it's pretty soft, right? The Cowboys are shitty right now. The Titans, the Saints. play the Eagles again. Falcons, Cowboys. If they win, I think if they win one of the next two, if they can win one of the next two, beat the Steelers at home, I think they end up winning the division. God, that's crazy to think.
Isn't that
Good God,
nuts?
that's
It's
nuts.
crazy to see what happens when you get the quarterback and coach right,
Yep.
and play caller right. You get those three things right: solid head coach, good play caller, and you get your quarterback right. Amazing what happens. Maybe fucking Mark Davis and Tom Brady should take some notes.
Yeah. Real quick before we move along to our pick 'em,
Fuck.
what is who's your guys' MVPs right now? I think it's pretty easy, but who's your top two for MVP?
Lamar, Goff.
Anthony?
Lamar's got to be in there. I mean, he's got to be in there, right? And I think it's Goff. A couple of weeks ago, I sat here and said Goff, but I love what Josh Allen's doing too. So I think it's Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen personally for me. I think any more of these 80-yard passing games by Jared Goff, he probably gets himself out of it. But I just love what Josh Allen and Lamar are doing. I'd love to see Josh get his first one, and I predicted it. So
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Lamar and Josh Allen, and I am going to throw one guy right behind all three of them, who, if he can keep doing what he's doing, may make a stake for Rookie of the Year and possibly in the MVP conversation.
who could you possibly be talking
I
about?
wonder about Jane Daniels.
He is 3, 4, 5. He is 6th on the list right here of current odds. So he's actually tied with Jalen Hurts for the 5th best odds to win the MVP. The odds-on favorite is Lamar, shortly followed after by Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes is ranked above Jared Goff right now. That's absolutely fucking criminal.
Dog shit.
Makes no sense, but it is what it is. Fuck him.
All right, well let's move
get into
along.
the pick
Yeah,
'em.
he really fucking sucks.
Oh, he doesn't suck, but he's not putting up MVP numbers.
Yeah. Well,
You
Anthony,
know, like,
yeah, he's not. He's not. That team, Anthony did great this week. God dang, look at this guy.
I still one game behind you for the year.
Still not good enough. Just like that Raiders
I'm
shirt.
gonna take it. This is right here, baby.
Make Oakland or make Las Vegas great again. Or does it
make the Raiders great again?
Oh man. Right now the pick'em standings, me leading with 76 wins, Anthony with 75, and poor Brad with his
Brad's a whole week behind.
whole week.
It's like he missed a week.
And you know what's funny is I started 10-4 the first week.
Yeah,
and
you're dominating the first week, and it's just flipped. All right, let's get in this first one. Anthony's favorite time. I love it. Got a big game on Thursday night. It's gonna be a fucking show, and I'm excited to watch this one. Go ahead. It's Baltimore versus the Bengals.
At Ravens.
Ravens.
Man, I seen it at 5. I seen it at 6. So you got the Ravens minus 5.5, Brad?
Yes.
I'll take the Bengals plus 5.5.
I will also take the Bengals plus 5.5. Yeah.
You're gonna be another game behind us, brother.
Dang, already. I think this is
now I know
this is the Joe Burrow show, baby.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'll be
Everyone's
already
gonna
awake.
set their alarm for this one.
I'll be awake at work already.
For the Giants at the Panthers in Germany. Crazy enough, I will set my alarm. I'll have a parlay in for this game just so I have something to sweat before the kids wake up and drive me crazy. So the Giants are 6.5-point favorites in Germany. I'm going to take Panthers plus 6.5.
Yeah, I'm also with the Panthers. I don't think the Giants are good enough to blow a team out here.
I got the Panthers as well.
Oh, fancy. The Steelers at Washington. Oh, okay. It's at 2.5.
Yeah, so
it at 3.
You pulled them a little earlier. This is pulled right before I got it all set up, so it's definitely changed since this morning.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I man, Steelers got a great defense, but I think this is going to be a Commanders game.
I'm on the commander. I'm on the Commanders -2.5 for sure. I was worried about the 3, but seeing it at 2.5, I'm confident. I'll take the Commanders at 2.5.
Well, fuck, man.
Broncos.
I got the Commanders as well. Maybe I need to switch.
It's all good, brother. Don't worry. I'm taking the Broncos here. I think they're going to cover that 8.
+8, huh?
Anthony, is it? I don't know who's supposed
Broncos
to be up.
+8. Broncos
Chiefs.
+8.
Okay.
God,
Chiefs.
this is why you suck. I'm just giving
What
a
about
hard
you,
time.
Brad?
Chiefs.
Got the
You
Chiefs.
think they're going to cover, huh? Wow.
Yes.
All right, Horton, do we even need to ask?
No, we don't. Niners are about to blow
49ers.
that ass out. Christian McCaffrey, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
On the road in Tampa, 5.5-point favorites. Brad.
Hmm.
He wants to change it. He wants to change it.
The Bucks just are fucking. They're in every game. I think the Niners are winning.
Baker's playing his ass off.
I know, man. I'm gonna go 49ers.
Same here. I'm on the 49ers too. I wanted to make it a little theatrical for Horton, but I'm on the 49ers for sure. Bills at Colts. Bills -4. Give me the Buffalo Bills -4. Win and cover.
I will say something before you go on. Baker Mayfield is 0-3 versus the Niners with a 1 touchdown to 4 interception ratio. So it's a good idea to pick the Niners because he can't seem to beat the fucking Niners.
Fuck yeah, I love it.
Stats never lie, baby. I'm also taking the Bills here.
Bills on that fast track in Indy.
Okay, so Joe Flacco's playing, right? Huh. They're totally different. They're totally different with Flacco.
Choke Flacco?
Richardson.
It looked like shit. It looked like shit last week.
They lost by 8, 21-13. It wasn't that bad of a loss. It wasn't that bad of a loss. The Vikings in Minnesota, that's not an easy place to play. They lost 21-13. I'm actually taking them at home with the 4. Colts.
Wow.
Oh,
Getting
wow. Wow.
Wow.
This is another one. This one upsets me because it's a spit in Drake May's face. I'm taking the fucking Patriots. The Bears looked like shit last week, and fucking ever since Caleb Williams threw the fit when they lost that game in overtime like a little baby, I'm just not a fan.
Is it at -6?
It's
Are we
-6.
-6.
Okay.
I'm taking Patriots.
Good, Math. Yeah, Mahaffey. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Caleb and the Bears. That fucking reject needs to figure it out, though.
The Bears.
The Bears -6. The Bears.
Oh, this is where I start taking a lead in this fucking one. I like it.
Nope. No chance here. Vikings on the road in Jacksonville. Do we know what's going on with Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So we'll go ahead and take the Vikings.
I heard he was hurt. I heard he was hurt.
He did come out unhealthy or questionable. I don't know if it was a sickness or.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Limited at practice with a shoulder. It could miss week 10.
Well, I'm going to put an asterisk next to this.
CJ Beathard.
Mac Jones, probably.
No, it says backup quarterback.
They called Beathard up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. If Lawrence plays,
Mac Jones,
I'm going to pick the Jags to cover. I'm going to pick if Lawrence plays. If he doesn't play, I'm on the Vikings. So it's here. It's public. If it's Noah, and I bet you if he doesn't play, that number gets spiked up. So I'll have to live with that also. But yeah, I'm on the Jaguars to cover it. I think. Yes, I'm on the Jags borrowing their quarterback playing. Falcons at Saints, 3.5-point favorites.
The Falcons covering 3.5.
I also have the Falcons.
Titans at Chargers. We're on to the next slide here, Horty.
Oh yeah, I need to slow my roll. Slow my roll. My bad. There we go.
Titans at Chargers.
Is it -8?
Gotta make
think-
sure.
Hold on. I think I got the wrong one up here. Yeah, let me fix
I
this.
think you just.
Nope, I got it wrong. That's my fault. My fault. Give me 1 second. I will
It's all
fix
good.
this.
It's all good.
Uno momento. There we go. Is that right?
There we go.
Oh,
Oh, so the Falcons are at 4. Did that
Yep.
change anybody's?
nope. I like old Kirk Cousins. I just don't think the Saints have enough wide receivers to do enough.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Falcons.
Well, I mean, it's essentially what's the worst that happens? You get a push on it, right? I'll stay with the Falcons too. Chargers is 7.5 now, so I'm on the Chargers to win and to cover that 7.5.
Me as well.
Yeah, it's just Tennessee's a fucking trash can fire, man. No matter who's their quarterback. I do like Mason Rudolph there. I think he does make them better somehow. But I think the Harbaugh show is about to start playing real heavy in the league. So, hey, Chargers.
The Harbaugh show.
Dude,
Oh,
that dude is crazy good, man. I think he might be
So
better
is
than his brother.
He's a good coach. Trust me, I know all too well.
Michigan.
Eagles are in Jerry World. Eagles are in Jerry World 7-point favorites. Especially now that it's not 7.5, it's a slam dunk. I think the Eagles cover 7 and win.
Eagles.
Cooper Rush.
Man, I just
Cooper Rush.
I just don't know. The Eagles have played so weird when they play the Cowboys, man. It happens all the time. It's a divisional game. Like, Cowboys are in position to they got to keep. We talked about this. If they go win a couple games, they have a chance to stay in the playoff race. So, like, Cooper Rush has been there for a long time. It's not like it's a new thing to him. Like, it's hard to be like, are they going to cover the 7? Oh, man. I'm going to take Cowboys. They're still going to lose, but I think that they can keep it under 7.
Wow. Jets at Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Cardinals 1-point favorites at home. Horton, you go.
I'm going to take the Jets.
Me also.
Oh, fuck
Jets
yeah.
+1.
There it
fuck
is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck the
oh,
Jets.
Oh, fuck
Have
yeah.
you guys been watching the Jets play?
Yeah, hey,
Yeah, they just beat
The fuck?
they,
Okay.
yeah, they just won.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Fucking give me a fucking break.
You hate it. The MCDC's Lions at Houston. Sunday night football. Houston's got their red unis on, the new red helmets. MCDC and the boys against Houston. Horton, who you got?
This is the first turning point for Texas, and they're going to win this game.
I got the Lions to win, but Texans to cover.
I got the Lions.
Late field goal.
covered.
Texans +3.5.
I got the Lions. They're going to go in there and do what they're doing.
Goff has been playing great, but I think he comes back to the world here real quick.
Damn, I really was hoping that you wouldn't be with me. I was hoping I was on the island with the Texans and the Jets. I fucking rode with you on both of them. Fuck.
Well, that's why we're so close. That's why we're so close. Here, I'll pick this one. I'll pick this one for you right off the rip. All right.
Dolphins at Rams.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins.
Fuck, me too.
Oh, what the fuck? We got a couple different ones. We got Vikings, Jags. That's different. And that's it. That's
Jags are only different if the quarterback plays.
Yeah.
And then Eagles, Cowboys, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's wild.
Dang.
Right, no
you
separation.
guys. No, you're different on the Bears and Patriots.
Are we?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
and
Oh,
you're
yeah, that's
separate,
true.
and you're different on the Eagles and Cowboys.
Okay, if they're just blending
Yeah.
so much, I'm not even paying attention. Oh, that's right, the Cowboys. That one's gonna piss you off when the Cowboys somehow squeak that one out. Oh man, great times. I
Whatever.
fucking love it, dude. I love it. Those last three were just bang, bang, bang.
I was just like, fuck, man, I'm on an island here. I know I'm gonna be the only one that goes Jets, Texans, Dolphins. Like, I know it. And now he just matches me step for step. Like, God dang it, man. Oh, Bradley, did you change to the Dolphins or were you always Dolphins? I don't think you ever had. You ever said it?
Yeah, we never asked you. Are you Dolphins? Or you Rams?
I'm not sure.
You're sitting here bragging about the Rams winning the NFC West. I know you're just doing it.
It's
to piss
my
me
Dolphins, though.
I
It's
know.
my
Yeah,
Dolphins.
it's hard to pick it, dude. It's hard to do those pick'ems and X the other team
Well,
over yours.
the Dolphins played really well at Buffalo. They played really well this last week. The game was actually really close. No, man, we're not going to travel well. I'm going Rams. Yeah, I'm going to go Rams.
No Rams.
As much as I want to pick the Dolphins, fuck, I can't go against my boys. I'll put the fucking
That's right.
Dolphins
You
in.
got
Leave me
you
the
got
fuck
to
alone.
you got to realize this is Tua's second game back. I think that him and
Third.
Tyreek is it third? Well,
Third.
is it already
He
third?
played really well last week. He really did.
I think that Ancients played really well. Achan and fucking Tyreek Hill. I think they'll be all right. I think the Rams will be good in about a year or two when their defense gets older. They got a young defense.
Well, the Dolphins should have beat the Cardinals when he first came back. They blew that game. And last week in Buffalo, 30-27. So, the Bills are better than the Rams. So I'll ride with it. We'll see what happens.
Let it ride. Well,
Yeah, the Dolphins cost me some money last week.
yeah, fucking assholes.
You should have asked me.
What jelly bean bet
Bills
have you?
-6.
What jelly bean bet have you prepared for our 75 jelly beans?
Oh, I haven't even thought about it yet.
Have we not looked at anything?
I think tomorrow night's such a juicy one. I think we should pick a leg or two and
I don't.
tomorrow night.
No.
Between tomorrow night's game?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I'm happy.
No, don't start picking legs. Let's just be simple. Look
do
at
you
this board right now. What's the easiest game to pick? Pick one.
We're talking about
Monday
tomorrow
night.
night.
No.
game.
Tomorrow night would be player based. Like, who's gonna do what? Like,
We don't want to.
Look it up.
We don't.
Look how stressed he is.
we got
That makes no sense for that kind of bet.
This is a daily. This is a daily 75 bean bet, and we do it. And we just every day we can make a bet. We stack it. We want to be
You've
on
got to
by,
bet when you think you're going to fucking win.
by Sunday. We want to
Or-
be sitting around 400 jelly beans to go into next
Okay.
week.
I'm going to let you two fuckers try to figure that out. Meanwhile, back at fucking band camp, I'm willing just to go Chiefs fucking money line this weekend. Yeah, you fuckers are crazy. Let's just look at this board. If we were picking two of these games to put a bunch of money on together,
Chargers.
what two teams are you picking to win?
Ugh, probably
Wow.
Chargers money line.
Chargers.
And
I don't like the Chiefs, man. I don't like
I
the
do.
Chiefs.
Chargers and Chiefs is who I would
the
pick.
Chiefs make me nervous because they haven't
I
had
like
a
At
bad.
home,
They've had
at
bad
home?
games, but like it takes it, dude.
Nah.
I like the Bills.
Man,
I like
Yeah.
the Bills money
The,
line.
the problem, Bradley, it's a fucking interdivision game, and those always get funky.
it is.
I'm a prime example of
The
that.
Chiefs
Baltimore,
are much better than the Broncos, though.
Baltimore fucked me out of fucking survival because they lost to the goddamn fucking Cleveland Browns. Fuck. Should have
were
been.
Hey, so
also-
you guys want to make a
they were
trade while we're
also-
on here?
Yeah,
They were in Cleveland. This is a little different. Denver, Bo Nix going to KC is not. That's the clear fucking winning game.
y'all want
want
to make a trade while we're on here?
No, I want to go have fucking
That'd
dinner.
be fun.
Hey,
Hey. I need a receiver, boys.
what
Don't get your
league?
sleep-
I don't
What
have
league?
nothing to
Oh.
give you in that league.
What league?
Hey, I also need a tight end and full throttle, I think. So or a receiver
Oh,
there too. So
I have
Bro.
tight ends. You're not.
Were you,
No.
you sold your whole team off, and now you're trying to compete in full throttle.
Did you see me? Fucking, how did I score that many points?
I know, but you gave away fucking AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley, and now you acting like you
And
want to
I'm
go make
winning.
a playoff
Well, no,
run.
do you see?
Man,
do you-
now
hey,
I'm winning.
hey, do you see that I could potentially ruin your chance?
I know you're 100
so-
points behind me.
That ain't shit in this league. That's one fucking week sometimes.
I know.
Let's look at last week.
I gotta shut her down, boys. Getting yelled at.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We'll take this conversation offline.
We'll take it offline,
trade
guys.
somebody.
No.
Guys,
Tyler, fuck
what?
Anthony. Don't trade him shit.
Thanks for. I sent him a pretty healthy offer, and he didn't like it.
I'll be hitting you guys up on the text messages.
It was
We
a
know you
healthy
will.
offer, brother. I sent you.
Go to sleep, brother.
Addison, Otten, and my 2025 first, and you didn't want it.
This wasn't sold yet, man. I'm teetering in that league. Do I go?
Yeah.
Do I plan for the future, or do I go for it right now? You know.
I mean,
good Lord.
You're still planning for the future and going for it.
Not
This
if I
is
get
all
rid of
I'm going to
Bijan.
tell you. Hey, when you guys get on your phones, get ready because full throttle chat's rolling.
Brad, you haven't sent me.
I've been watching.
Chapman is awake.
Yeah, dude.
I seen it.
Probably
I
drunk
seen it.
too.
He sent out his top 5 Americans of all time.
Let me read that list out loud.
Hey,
Hold on.
My son made the list.
Yeah, here it is.
Logan made the list.
Yeah. So, he keeps changing it. Top 5 Americans of all time: God, Donald Trump, Hulk Hogan, Captain Crunch, and Logan McCaffrey.
Oh boy, Logan.
Oh,
But-
dude, did you see the worst?
Yeah, the top 5
Yes.
worst: Joe Biden, Adam Chef, Obama.
I don't know who they.
Dixie Chicks. I think he meant put Adam Schefter.
No, it's Adam
Oh yeah,
Schiff.
shit.
Is it
No,
Adam
it's
Schiff?
Adam Schiff. He's a douchebag. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Obama, Dixie Chicks, and Zach.
Zach McDonald. Classic.
Great.
Oh, fuck.
All right, guys.
All right.
It's wild times. Thanks for jumping in, dudes.
Yeah.
We
Good job.
appreciate y'all.
Way to
coming
make
in
your
here.
appearance, Jeremy
Yeah,
Chapman.
Jeremy
That's fucking
Chapman.
awesome.
I'm gonna have to get a picture of him with like something showed up his nose and put on here. It'd be like
We'll
our
get a
little
picture
buddy
of him
photo.
going down the river on his float. It
Yeah.
it almost
Oh.
didn't work out.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Good
Well,
Lord.
thanks for coming in, guys.
All right, bro.
Like, follow, subscribe, help us out. If you enjoy it, post comments. We'll respond. Other than that, we're gonna get out of here. Brad, Anthony, thanks again. Always a
See
pleasure.
you guys.
It was fun,
Good luck,
fellas.
fellas.
Peace.
See you, man.
Thank you for
Later.
watching. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope you join us again. If you could, please give us a like, subscribe, or follow at any of these social medias right here. And if you have any questions or concerns or something you want to discuss, please send us an email at filthypodcast24@gmail.com. Thanks, and have a great day.